Imagine a country where the land is below sea level, yet millions of people live there comfortably. They work and even farm there. Surprisingly, 1/3 of the Netherlands is below sea level. If you wonder why these people didn't just flee, the answer is they learned to fight the sea. Centuries ago, they decided not to retreat but to control the water. First, they built strong dikes that act as a wall to hold back the seawater. Then gradually polders were created by draining water to form new pieces of land. This is a story of human courage and engineering power, where a small idea saved an entire country. Today we will see how these people keep a dangerous sea like the North Sea at bay. This is not just a story of a building or a wall, but of an entire system, a system that protects the lives, homes, and land of millions from the sea every day. Let's begin this journey from where it all started. The first step was building massive dikes, which we can simply call very strong walls. These walls were built along the coast of the sea and large rivers to keep water from entering the land. These were no ordinary walls. They were so strong that even fierce storms and huge waves could not break them. Engineers spent years designing these dikes. They used soil, stone, and concrete to make them even stronger. First, the ground is dug deep so that the foundation can be strong. Then layers of soil and stone are laid over it one by one until the required height of the dike is reached. Finally, concrete or grass is applied on top so that the soil remains protected from erosion. The height of each dike varies, depending on how much sea pressure is at that location. This system is so smart that if there is a weakness in one place, the entire system could be at risk. That is why every part is prepared with equal planning and engineering. Because of these dikes, land that was once part of the sea has become habitable for people. These walls still face the pressure of the sea every day and protect millions of people. This was the first step of that grand mission which changed the image of the entire country. Now let's talk about polders, which are the most fascinating part of Dutch engineering. Creating a polder means enclosing a shallow part of a lake or sea with dikes, then draining all the water inside. Once the water is drained, the wet land underneath slowly dries out and becomes suitable for use. This land is then used for homes, farms, and cities, allowing new areas to be settled. First, a strong dike is built around that area to separate it from the sea. Then, the water inside is gradually pumped out using powerful pumps. When most of the water is gone, the land is left exposed for some time so it can dry naturally. Finally, drainage channels are built in the land so rainwater can easily flow out and keep the land dry. It is fascinating to think that where fish once swam, people now live in homes. This process was not easy at all. It took years and required immense hard work, planning, and engineering. But the result was that the Netherlands created its own land, a feat rarely seen elsewhere in the world. These polders are still a huge part of Dutch life today, supporting farming, cities, and daily living. Because of these polders, the Netherlands is considered one of the world's most unique and advanced engineering nations. But creating the land was not enough. Keeping that land dry was also essential. To do this, the Dutch built thousands of canals and drainage channels to continuously remove excess water. In the old days, this work was done by windmills that lifted water from low areas and pushed it out. These windmills were not just beautiful, they were the most advanced technology of the time. For water control, the windmill blades turned with the wind, transferring motion to an internal wheel that powered the pumping system. This wheel lifted water from below to a higher canal where its next journey would begin. From there, the water flowed onward until it finally emptied into a large river or the sea. In this way, one windmill after another lifted the water step by step by step, until it was completely drained out. Times have changed, and now, large electric pumping stations do this work. These stations pump out millions of liters of water every hour to keep the polders dry. This entire system operates day and night without stopping, because even if it stops for a day, the water could start seeping back into the ground. That is why these pumping stations and drainage systems are monitored and maintained constantly, so any fault can be fixed immediately. This is the hard work that keeps the Netherlands safe at all times, and keeps this country alive and thriving despite being below sea level. Now let's talk about the Netherlands' biggest and most advanced projects, which are called storm surge barriers. These barriers are so massive that it is hard to believe humans built them themselves. When a severe storm hits the sea, or the water level rises significantly, these barriers close automatically. The closing process happens exactly on time so that not a single drop of water can get inside. Sensors constantly measure the water level and send this data to the control system. When the water rises above a certain threshold, the system identifies the danger itself. Immediately after that, large hydraulic arms swing into action, which slowly close the heavy doors of the barrier. These doors close so tightly that even the full pressure of the ocean cannot move them. As soon as the danger passes and the sea returns to normal, these barriers reopen so that boats and ships can pass easily. This system is so advanced that it relies less on human intervention and more on technology. Each barrier was built after years of research and planning so that it could work uninterrupted for centuries. Engineers are constantly monitoring and maintaining these systems so they work perfectly during an emergency. These barriers are the biggest guarantee of a safe life in the Netherlands, protecting millions of people from sea storms every year. Along with these storm surge barriers, the Dutch have also built movable floodgates, dams, and locks which further strengthen the entire system. These floodgates open and close according to necessity, as the sea level rises or falls. Dams control the flow of water, so that the water pressure remains balanced from one place to another. The job of the locks is to allow ships to pass safely between different water levels without any risk. When a ship wants to go from a higher water level to a lower one, the top gate of the lock is opened first and the ship enters. And the ship enters. Then both gates are closed and the water inside is slowly controlled until it reaches the level of the lower surface. When the water levels match, the lower gate is opened and the vessel continues its journey. This entire process happens with such precision that vessels easily move from one water level to another without any damage. All these things work together like a chain, where one part supports the other. River embankments are also an important part of this system, keeping riverbanks strong so that water does not overflow during the rainy season. This entire system protects the country not only from the sea, but also from the dangers posed by rivers. Every structure is designed to withstand harsh weather and intense water pressure for years. This is why the Netherlands is considered the world's most expert nation in water management. Now the question is, how does such a massive system operate without any errors? And the answer is modern technology. Dutch engineers use real-time weather forecasts so they know in advance when a storm might arrive. Water level sensors constantly monitor the sea and rivers and immediately send information to control rooms. Satellites also assist in this task by observing the entire system from above and providing data. All this data reaches a central computer system where it is analyzed immediately. Computer-controlled monitoring systems gather all this information to decide when to close or open the barriers. Data from every sensor, satellite, and weather station works together to guide the entire flood protection system. If water levels begin to rise suddenly anywhere, the system immediately identifies it and generates a warning. This entire process is so fast that a human could not make decisions that quickly. Because of this technology, the chance of error is very low and people's lives remain safe. Day and night, this monitoring system works without interruption so that any emergency can be responded to immediately. It is the best combination of modern science and long-standing hard work that keeps the Netherlands safe. To keep this entire system running, constant inspections, maintenance, and upgrades are needed, and Dutch engineers take this work very seriously. Every dike, pump, and storm surge barrier is checked periodically so that any weakness can be addressed ahead of time. As sea levels rise, the Netherlands is making its flood protection system even stronger and more advanced. Centuries of planning, engineering, and innovation have empowered this nation to stay safe even while being below sea level. The Netherlands has proven that with the right engineering and strong determination, even nature's greatest challenges can be overcome. This is the finest example of civil engineering in the world, keeping millions safe from flooding